3 mistakes lead a patient from a routine hernia repair to a massive infection that was never diagnosed that ultimately led to her death. Would you like to learn what happened? Come join me as I share with you this interesting information. Hi, I'm Jerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. It was supposed to be a routine hernia repair. 3 years earlier, she had had a total hysterectomy because she had been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And luckily for this patient, she had no recurrence of cancer at all. But she developed a painful hernia, and now it was time to get it treated. Well, what do you think happened? During the course of surgery, the doctors inadvertently made a hole in her bowel. Now, they didn't intend to do that, but the doctor has a number of choices at that point. And here, let me just explain what the 2 mistakes were at this point. The first mistake was that this doctor was a GYN cancer surgeon. It was our claim that this doctor had no business whatsoever performing a hernia repair on a patient without any evidence of cancer. That was number 1. Instead, we argued that he should have sent her out to a general surgeon to have this done because general surgeons do this surgery all the time. The second mistake occurred at the time that the bowel perforation was made. Now, my experts tell us that the fact that a hole is made at the time of hernia repair is not evidence of malpractice, and in fact, to the doctor's credit, they did recognize it. The problem becomes what to do next. You see, these were GYN cancer doctors. We argued that the next step should be, listen, you've got a problem with the bowel, call in a general surgeon or a colorectal surgeon. These guys do this repair all the time. Instead, what happened here? These doctors made a conscious decision instead to do the repair themselves. Now, when that occurred, what they did was they had to actually remove the damaged portion of the bowel on both ends. And now you have to join them together. That's known as an end-to-end anastomosis. And then you have to suture it closed to make a watertight seal. And that's what they did. And for the next 2 days, she developed complications involving a previous cardiac issue that she had, palpitations. She's developing shortness of breath. Her blood pressure is dropping dangerously low. Her kidney function is dropping. And the doctors there can't figure out why. Why is this happening? Until finally a general surgeon comes in to evaluate her and says, you know what? I have to take you back to the operating room immediately. I have to find out, open your belly, find out what's going on. And what he found was astonishing. Let me share with you what he found. When he went into her belly, he found that there were contents in her abdominal cavity that shouldn't have been there. What were they? They were fecal content, feces, poop that travels through the intestines that never should have been there. Well, how can that get there? Well, here's how. What he found next was absolutely remarkable. Remember when I told you they took the 2 ends of the bowel, put it together, and then sutured it closed? What he found was that the entire end-to-end anastomosis was wide open. So the contents of the bowel were flowing out freely into her abdominal cavity. All this content, material that never should have been there, was getting infected. The patient was getting sicker because this was now causing a system-wide infection that not a single person recognized beforehand and nobody treated. Well, ultimately, this patient died from a massive infection known as sepsis. Why do I share this information with you? Just to give you an insight and an understanding into what occurred in this one particularly tragic case involving a failure to diagnose sepsis leading to death. And I'm pleased to say that during hard-fought negotiations during mediation, only 2 weeks before we were scheduled to go to trial, I was able to successfully settle this case to the satisfaction of my client. Chances are you're watching this because you have your own questions or concerns about your own surgery, whether it involves sepsis or improperly performed surgery or complications that arose from the surgery. Well, if your matter happened here in the state of New York, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. I do this every single day and I welcome your call. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Jerry Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.